We've got another question from M1 Check. M1 Check seems to be going perhaps through some writer's block, or has a fear that he will soon be and wants to prepare.
Has he got another writer's block question? Go on.
Sort of. It seems to be in the same realm. He wants to know, do you think it's bad to spend too much time on a song?
Yes, I do think it's too bad, actually. I do. It's, for me, I mean, this is going to be, for each individual, it's going to be different. But for me, yes. I guess the only thing I can equate it to is there are some painters and artists who over fiddle, and then what they originally had 3 hours ago is gone, and it's just this overly detailed, overly colourful kind of thing. I remember a songwriter from when I was, back in the days of music promotion. And I kid you not, he had this lovely song. It was called something like 10,000 Acres of Snow or something. It had a very wonderful title. And he said, yeah, I've been writing this for a year. And I looked at him and I was like, a year? Yeah, I can't get this word right. And I'm like, who gives a crap? It's one word. doesn't matter. For me, it's a moment and you got to get it all out in that moment. And so what if a word's a bit clumsy? Or I remember on a song from the first album, I was just like, going through, I work kind of, I'll get a bit of a melody and then I'll do this. When you hold it, say your first time, really out of tune and horrible like that. And then I'll get a few lyrics and I'll have that bit. And I remember swearing, a swear word came out as I was doing it. And then it was like, oh, that kind of works, doesn't it? Oh, my mum's going to tell me off if I swear. I'll just keep it. It'll be fine. And then it was such a pain in the ass because on every license and everything, it was like, yeah, have you got a version where you don't swear? So I just think, yes, you can spend too long. And I think that's when, but like I said, it's personal. For me, if I'm spending too long, and I'm talking like days when I say too long, I would write a good song in about 20 minutes. So if I'm spending days, then for me, it's going to just sound a bit like rigid or a bit try hard. But it's different for different people. But for me, yeah, I can't write for a long time on one thing because it just becomes painful.
Interesting. Do you have a way for those of us, and I'm counting myself in this, who overthinks and over-obsesses about when they're making music and wishes that they could kind of let go, do you have a way that you could actually recommend getting to that place? Or is it just get over yourself and do it?
Of letting go.
Yeah, how do you get past that moment where you go like, well, I got to keep working on this for 5 days because that bass just is not quite right. And you're sort of missing the big picture.
Yeah, I think when it comes to production, oh God, yeah, you can spend forever. And I also, having heard every song on my album 95,000 times, I got like that. I got like, can you just hear the way that the vocal does that? And anyone else who'd listened to it a mere 100 times was going, no. And there's lots of sayings. The devil is in the detail, so maybe you should be concentrating on little things. But I think for me, I always compare it to a cake. Again, a cake. Seriously, what's the obsession with cakes? But when you bake like the actual bit of a cake, like the sponge and the jam and whatever you got going on, that might take you an hour. And then, but that's really like 95% of what you eat. But then you're going to spend 5 times that icing it and making weird little figures or whatever kind of cake you're making and writing things on it. You're going to spend a really long time doing that. So I think if you have the right kind of cake, what goes over it does matter, but at the same time, it doesn't matter as much as you think it does. Once people start eating it and hearing it, and however I'm going to take this analogy, then you can tell if it's good. And I think people are forgetting, and I have to remind myself when I'm going to talk about Reason again, when I'm using like Record and Reason, I have to remind myself, if you did now go and play this song on a piano, is it a good song? And if it's not, then I think I'm losing the song in production. And you can't lose a song in production. You can enhance it, but you can't. I was just going to say you can't polish a turd. That is disgusting. I don't even know if that's the saying
stick to the cake
else.
metaphor.
But you can't kind of make a purse out of a pig's ear or whatever the saying is.
You're right.
You can't beautify something if the core of it is not great. So that letting go, learn which bits are important and relax. Okay, maybe the bass noise isn't quite right, but if you know that it's going to sound better by fiddling with EQ and this and that and twiddling this and release and whatever for half an hour, and it genuinely is going to sound better, then do it. If you know that you're going to spend another half hour and you're still going to go, I'm not happy, then spend the half hour doing something else. You know, that's how I look at it. Don't labor over something to the point of exhaustion.
Right. You know, interestingly enough, by the way, Olivia, there was a recent episode of Mythbusters, and they showed that you can polish a turd. Yeah, you actually can. So it's actually not even a good. Is
that from you, or is that someone online that's come up with that?
No. I had a friend in San Francisco that was telling me about this. They have a 6-year-old son who's obsessed with Mythbusters.
Oh my God! So, what did they do? Get on some sort of like buff? I don't even want to know.
I don't even know. I don't think we should know. I think we should all as a society retire that phrase, because it's not a good phrase anyway, and it's not true. So just forget it.
Sorry.
It's over. There's a question that's come up a couple of times. I'm going to ask you. Il Carl wants to know. I'm going to modify your question, Carl, to not use the word kill, but no matter if realistic or not, who would you love to spend 5 minutes in the studio with?
A lot of people. I can't help it, and I don't even know if it's cool to say it, but I love Shakira. And I didn't so much love her until I heard She-Wolf. And when I first heard it, I thought she was a mentalist. And then I heard it quite a lot of times, and I thought she was a genius. And I then read a bit about her, and she is way more involved than you think. And she's in there, and she's producing the album, and she's playing lots of the instruments. And I thought, you go, Shakira, because I don't think anybody knows that about you. So I like her. I love Feist, and I'm a big fan of Gwen Stefani. I'm a fan of weird people who I write nothing like, you know. But I think it's more their willingness to experiment. Gwen Stefani is never going to put the same thing out twice, you know. And similar with Shakira. I think that's what I like in people, you know. It's the Madonna thing, you know, reinvention and all that kind of thing. And you can do it to varying degrees, but, you know, there are a few artists that I do love. But then equally, I love Phoenix. Oh, I love Phoenix. So
there's a question that's come in. Eric Two Sacks is asking, he says, do you have a guitar handy to sing something? But I think we can do you one better.
Okay.
We have, do you have a guitar? Maybe he wants to actually hear you perform.
I do have a guitar. Do you know what, Eric? It's got 5 strings. I'm not going to lie to you. When a string busts on my guitar, if it's the toppy, I can leave it for a few months. Am I going to sing something? Oh.
Do you want to? We're putting you on the spot here.
I can, but I'm not so sure now what to sing, and I'd probably get horribly nervous. If I sing, like, is it to prove that I can sing? Because I'm now worried.
Yes, this is your Milli Vanilli moment.
Is it? Ryan, we'll do that thing where, like, I mouth and you play the video.
Yeah, just give me a signal and I'll start the playback.
Hang on. No, someone says there, look, they're saving me. Someone says, show us a Reason song you did.
Hey, perfect
let's do that
timing.
first, and then when everyone's a bit more drunk, I'll sing when everyone's more drunk. Okay?
All right. Yeah, we actually do have some of your music piping into us here via Skype, so... And Redwalk says, put on Neptune. It's like you're reading our minds, guys.
Put on Neptune. Okay, I got it. Okay, so when I got... this is when I get, like, all teachery. When I got Record, when did it come out? August last year? I feel like I got it.
August 2009. Oh, which one? Record 1.5?
Oh, yeah, I had 1.5.
Yeah, okay, that came out in late August.
Yeah, okay. So I got this last year, and I'd watched the tutorials online because I'm not like crazy tech geek, so I have to watch the tutorials with the hilarious voiceover man. And I was like, oh my God, that Neptune thing is brilliant. And of course, the danger is then you're going to sound like Imogen Heap, hide and seek. No matter what you do, it's just going to sound like that. So I was a bit worried about that, but I thought, sod it, I'm going to just have a play. So I had watched the tutorial, and I literally just sung the first bit of whatever that came into my head. And on this song I'm about to play you, I slightly overdid it to begin with, and I was just like, yeah, I'll just have voice in the whole way through the song. That'll sound brilliant. And then thought, no, that will not sound brilliant, and started paring it down. And what I play people now, I'm fully aware that this is a bit of a dodgy vocal, and this is a bit of a, but I'm going to play you the original, basically. This was original demo that I did. So I got... I put in the first line, then I did the thing where you create the Neptune, and then you create the audio track for the Neptune, and then you switch to voice synth. And I literally am sat there playing weird ass chords and all sorts of... Then I just started going, I'll just do this, like right high up. I'll just do that with my fingers and see what that comes out like. So we were looking at something a bit like this.
Can we stay here just a little bit longer, please?
Okay, so it's just simple. And then this kind of saving bit of this song was this weird little thing. I just kind of went, ooh, hoo, hoo, hoo. I was just noodling around. But then when I put chords with that, it became like a cutesy little vocal / instrumental riff to kind of chop up the chorus.
Can you?
So you had that. Can't sing. That was obviously that can't sing bit. And then when you put it all together, and it was a really simple song. So then I did quite a few different. I'd build a Neptune, and then I'd create quite a few different lanes within it, and layer on within that same audio track, what each thing was doing. So then if you take out the signal on them, hang on. If you take out the pitch signal and just leave the voice synth, then that's when you were left with things like
things just to offer me some.
That's not right, is it? Technical issues, quick Ryan dance or something.
All right, I'm on it.
Let's just
I'm not on
mute
it.
that. Let's unsite. Let's do that. And is that going to be it? Am I even on the right one? No, I'm not even on the right one. That's why it hasn't helped. So then you're left with
things just to offer me some release.
So that's it without the pitch signal. So that shows you how many different... You'll occasionally get like a really high one. And I was just experimenting. That's a perfect case of I didn't even really know what this was going to turn out like, and I was just playing around. I literally put in a bit of piano. I think I merged a couple of loops, and then the final thing then sounded like this.
Can we stay just a little bit longer, please? Can you say things just to offer me some things?
Like doing a kind of creative fade, but I've just stopped it.
It's so good. You could just keep it going.
You can hear on that then the Neptune, it did drive the track. It did, because when I break to a middle eight, instead of feeling the need to fill it with some lyrics, I did actually have some lyrics, and I took them out because that little hook of the like where my voice wouldn't even go, then became the hook. And what is so lovely with Neptune is that, hey, I'm not blessed with the biggest range, so I could literally be playing right up here, and it adds... You'll just occasionally get it in one ear when you're listening to it on headphones. It's just panned in there. Oh, there it is. Oh, there's that little high bit. And it was a lovely thing. I mean, I'm wary about using it because it's such a strong characteristic, but you can play with things, and you can fiddle with the kind of auto tune and the speed that it corrects, so you're kind of getting that little robot-y all over R&B music and hip hop, and it's a bit overdone now, but you can kind of get that and then put the synth with it, and that's when you kind of, people have said to me, what's that bit after you go say things just to offer me some release, what's that bit? And I'm like, oh, that's just me. And they're like, is it? And I'm like, yeah, that's just me with this weird thing. So it does then, it's a great tool. And like how, you know, as I was telling you on our pre-chat, sorting all the tech stuff out, everybody says to me, oh yeah, like I use Pro Tools, what do you use? And when I say, oh, I use Record, they're like, what? Like, why? And then I show them and they're like, oh my God, this is really easy to use, isn't it? So you do that and then you click on that and then it's done. And I'm like, yeah, pretty much. And I think people, they just see the industry standard and they think that that's like the thing that you should use. But I've had friends come over and just be like, I have to get this, seriously. And when
you told me something I thought was really funny actually about your turnaround time. Do you remember this?
I do, yeah. So I've been working on some, like I said, some adverts, and the way that quite often it works is I'll get the request come in. Can you write something for this spreadable cheese? And we need it literally in, it'll be like tomorrow. But for a lot of people, particularly, is it Eric who's all worried about the writing? No, it's not Eric. Whoever's got the song right.
M1 something.
M1 whatever. Check. He's like going, oh my god, tomorrow. Oh, awful. And and I'll be talking to the guys that I work with in New York, saying, okay, right, okay, what's the pitch? Right, okay, light fluffy this. Okay, I'll have a work on something. And because I've got to that point where Record is so friendly, it's just, I'll compile something, I'll strum in a bit of guitar, okay, right, that's that. Another track, shifting, right, okay, now I'll put in a bit of this, okay, right, now I'll just have that, are there any, okay, pop that in, it's so quick, okay, just shift that bit of thing there, okay, I'll just lock all of that bit, okay, that bit's a bit out of time, and it's so quick, because it's so friendly that I'll then like write back to them, okay, I've got something, and he'll be like, what? That was like 20 minutes ago, and now they mock me for it. They're like, you don't have something in 12 minutes. We're not happy with you. And I'll say, have you had anything else in? No, Olivia. Other people take like an actual day to do this. Why have you done it in like half an hour? But I don't know if it's, for me, it's the software. It is. Look, I'm not like ass kissing here. It's just so easy to use. I mean, like I kind of therefore software, because I don't have to worry about fiddling with I don't even know what the words are, As soon as I do a combinator or whatever, like I said to you, it's all there. Oh, you've done my delay for me. Oh, you've compressed this for me. Oh, brilliant. You've added a bit of distortion. Oh, lovely. And it's... I
think it's interesting because, amongst people who use our software, if we are super general about this, there are two camps. There's the tweaky guys who spend more of their time in the back of the rack wiring up, the next Bell telephone system. Yeah. And then there's the people who spend their time almost entirely in the front of the rack and letting the auto wiring and the preset combinators sort of take care of a lot of that for them. And it sounds like you're in that camp.
I've got to tell you, the only time that I've ever toggled to the back, it's just because I like to see the wires bounce. I'm like, oh, that's a lovely feature. And the wires bounce. And that's the only reason I go to the back. I think I've occasionally checked that I've got the desks right. When it was the old desks on just plain old Record, like if you filled up a desk, you'd have to create another desk. And sometimes it wouldn't then wire into my plugins and I'd have to go and do it myself. But that was no. Otherwise now because of lovely Record, it's just to watch the wires bounce. And I've showed other people. I went, look, like some sort of special person. Look at the way the wires bounce, But I'm all about the front of the rack and I'm all about the presets and stuff. So,
gotcha. Well, so tell us. There's something else I want to ask you about, because you were really clever about reaching out to music publishers and getting the licensing and stuff. The next thing that you are tackling with your audacity is viral marketing, right?
I see what you've done there. So, very good, Ryan. Seriously, leave propeller heads and get some sort of chat show of your own, Craig Ferguson, who? Could be you. I know that's not the biggest. He's Scottish, isn't he, Craig Ferguson? I don't know why I picked him.
He is, yeah. But he's on in the States.
So, yeah, I said to you, music videos and the whole... Yes, it sucks that the whole digital era means that your record is on Pirate Bay the day it comes out. And you know that 10 people bought it and 15, 20 times that just went and downloaded it, for nothing. And that is annoying, You're like, oh, please just give me just like a bit of money so I can make another record. But you can then use digital to your advantage. And so I thought, the whole viral videos and Facebook, a video that starts off with one play, by the time 50,000 people have shared it on Facebook, which can happen so quickly, I mean, I have like 12 friends in real life, and on Facebook I have like 1,200 because it's just random people or fans that then find me and add me, and I think, okay, I'll add you, I'm bound to want to communicate with you at some point. And and these things just get that, by the end of the day, it's like had 2 million views. And I thought, rather than spend, crazy amounts of money on having music videos done, I was lucky enough that a fan of mine sent me a slightly risque video of some plastic toys having some sex time, and it was brilliant. And I thought, okay, in my brain I kind of went, oh god, okay, this could offend some people. Some people might go, yeah, we don't like you anymore, Olivia. What's your kind of soft?
You've made this actually sound even creepier than it is.
Yeah, it's really not that creepy. Seriously, it's not creepy. Ryan will show it to you, it won't be creepy.
Which is like G.I. Joe in the States.
Yeah.
Having some homoerotic stop motion flirtation. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, exactly. And when he sent it to me, there was a sensible voice that's going, oh god, like seriously, is this going to offend some people? And then I thought, no, you know what, we can use this. This guy sent it to me. It's not cost anything to make. And so I got behind it. I said to him, I'm totally going to get behind this. I'm going to send it to VH1. I'm going to, I know these places don't play music videos so much anymore, but I'm going to send it to people and see what they think. And everybody loves it. And so it's, we only just got it finished last week, but it's my plan is that it's the kind of thing that goes viral because it's a little bit rude. It's kind of funny. Everyone I've showed it to laughs, and it's my plan that it will go viral. So help, drama keys, third floor sound, by sequence, S. Foreman, Ilcarl, whatever.
So I'll put the link in the chat if anybody wants to check it out.
Check it out and share it with your friends. Eric Two Sacks, yes, I will be your friend on Facebook if you share my video. See? A bit of blackmail like that.
Yeah, a little, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
Exactly.
But I think that the key to it is really, I just think it's a neat notion that it's like, it seems like everything that you do is about trying to break above the noise of everybody else who is doing what you do. And you seem to be really good at it. So it'll be interesting to see where this video goes.
It will. And I have every confidence that it will. These things take a while, like I said. The impatient me, that's the other thing. Patience is... I was so impatient before I started, particularly the second album. And then when you realise that negotiating a publishing deal takes like a year or whatever, you then start to learn patience. Maybe it didn't take that long. You start to learn patience, and it's patience in everything. There's patience in waiting for people to get back to you. I've contacted people, and a month later they'll write to me and say, oh my god, I'm so sorry it took so long, please do send us that. Oh my god, I checked your link, it's great. Have you got this song for this? And it's going to be the same with the video. I know it's not going to go viral in 3 weeks, but it will hopefully pick things up, and we'll hopefully get some, good bloggers to kind of post it. And I'm sure it will. If anyone has any tips, I'm going to ask for your help now. If anyone has any tips for how to make a video with some soft porn with toys, like get viral, please tell me. If any of you, maybe they will.
Okay, so a couple of questions. Actually, they're related, so I'll combine them in. Well, no, I won't. I'll ask them separately. Okay, so first of all, M1 Check, who I've now learned actually Mike Check. I just read the one as
Mike Check.
Yeah, see, I didn't get it. Yeah, but Mike Check wants to know, is making a collab hard? That's the way the question's written. I think he means, is collaboration hard?
I find it, this is where, again, I get a bit virtual. I find the idea of getting in a room with someone and then trying to have two creative people trying to make two different things work at the same time, it is hard. You know, if you are blessed enough to find somebody who writes with the same kind of style as you, then you know, that's brilliant. But for me, you know, the way that I collaborate best with people, I mean, my producer, this will have people going, what? My producer who I work with on the first and second record, who co-produces a lot of the stuff with me, he lives up in Yorkshire. So from where I live, FY, that's like 2-3 hours away. Not crazy far. And we never met. We never met until we came to doing the vocals on the second album, because we'd send everything back and forth, and it kind of worked beautifully. The distance of allowing him to have his bit and me to have my bit, and then we say, okay, which bits did you like, worked really well. And the same, I know I said to you, I've started doing some stuff with Carmen Rizzo. You know, he sends me something that's already got his stamp on it, and then I look to what I can do to it. And you're either going to like it or you won't. I don't know how well I'd work if my producer sat beside me and I said, okay, so this is the idea. What kind of beats do you hear around that? You know, I just don't. I think people work their best when they can make the mistakes and no one's sat right next to them judging them, or they can do something brilliant and go, oh my God, that's it. Okay, now I'll build on that. You've got to have a really brilliant partnership, I think, musically, to do it. I kind of get lyric writing a bit more, you know. Sometimes I can understand that, you know, co-writing is maybe easier to do just lyric wise, but musically, in fact I tried with a friend the other day who is very kind of jazzy in what he does, and he was like, and then what if you go to this note, and he's like a diminished fourth or something, and I was like, no one will be able to sing that note back. You know, why don't we just make it like a third and make it easy? And it is hard. It is hard. So mic check or M1 check or whatever. It is hard. And I think you have to, if you have to collaborate, then you have to find the way that it will work for you. And I strongly advocate doing it online and never actually meeting the people, because it works best for me.
A bit of a shut-in, huh?
Yeah.
Kia Matzi, I'm going to assume I'm saying that right, is asking, so if I send a message of my track to you and interested, will you collaborate?
Okay. Is that a sentence?
No, but let me reconstruct it.
Okay.
So if I send you a message of my track on Facebook to you, and you listen to it and find it interesting,
yeah,
will you collaborate with me? I've added half of the words, but that's the question.
I mean, obviously, no promises. But if something is good, and you know, I'm prepared. You know, I think you have to be open to everything. So obviously, working with Carmen, working with Carmen Rizzo, that's quite dark and very kind of electronica and very kind of tribal almost in places, and that's fun, and it makes me write completely different top lines to anything I would ever do. And as a writer, I love that. So yes, Kia Matzi, if you send me something and it's fun and I start having ideas, and of course, you know, I would sing on something and see where that goes. But equally, if I listen to it and doesn't feel like my thing, it doesn't mean that it's not good. So so you have the faith. Have the faith when you send it that it's good, but it may not be good for me. It may be good for somebody else. But of course, do send it. I will somehow find me on Facebook. Someone's asked who I am on Facebook.
Yeah, that was what I was going to ask you.
I'm the one with a duck with an afro. I think that's what my picture is at the moment. So if that makes sense to you, whoever's asked, I'm the duck with the afro.
All right. Well,
you can find me on Twitter, but I'm not very good at Twitter.
Because somebody said... Oh, Il Carl answered his question. He said, she's the good-looking one, so I don't want to know what he thinks about ducks with afros.
I'm not the good-looking one, it's a duck.
Il Carl's got some kind of afro duck thing.
Ryan, has anyone ever told you like Booger from Revenge of the Nerds?
That's not a good thing. That's... Ryan, has anyone insulted you on a live broadcast? No, not yet. This is a first.
I'm loving that. They're loving that. I just read that one out. I didn't even intend to be reading this. I didn't think I was that multitasking, but now I'm like, oh yeah,
You're doing
look.
well, listen, but here's the key. I'm actually, we're not going to hold you for the rest of the night hostage while we fire every question at you.
Okay.
So I think we're going to wrap it here. If anybody has one final question while we're saying our goodbyes, shoot it in, and if it's amazing, we'll jump back to it. But Olivia, I want to thank you for meeting with us here and giving us
Ryan.
your time.
Thank you.
And I hope people have sort of listened to, you know.
I love you, Dragoo. I read that. I love you, Dragoo. Dragoo.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a lot you've given us to think about in terms of, you know, not just the making the music, but getting it out there in different avenues and being daring, taking risks, not just with your music, but contacting people. What the hell? Why not? The worst thing you face is rejection.
Exactly.
And it's working for you.
And we get rejected all the way through our life. So let's just go for it. Go for it full force. Bring it on. That's what I say.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Olivia. You are our new BFF. And we're all going to check you out. And I will paste the link to your video. And those that are daring...
Everyone go and watch my video and then share it, please.
Do.
I know I've bored
Wouldn't it
you
be cool
share my video,
if we were the people that made it go viral?
Yes, right, Propeller Heads.
We could
make
be that.
my video go viral. And then we can have some sort of weird partnership, Propeller Heads and stop motion porn. And, you know...
Exactly.
Because you're not, to be honest with you, you haven't got it covered enough with just the
say stop motion porn, I want them to think propeller head.
Yeah,
Wait,
exactly.
Hang on. Something's wrong there. All right. Well, thank you, Olivia. Have a good night. And we will talk to you soon. I'm sure we'll be seeing you again.
Take care.
All right, gang. Well, that's it. That's the end of our night. So thanks for joining us. And tune in. We've got more stuff tomorrow. We have SoundCloud. 2 guys from SoundCloud. They're going to be joining us to talk about what we can do with SoundCloud and your music and how to get this whole social media thing happening. So that's at 9 p.m. European time, 3 p.m. Eastern time in the U.S., and you guys can all do your calculations to figure out when that is for you. And otherwise, have a good night. Send me music, hashtag MMM prop songs, or post it on our Facebook wall. And you could be this song.